Massive layoffs in the gaming industry. What's happening and what's next? Welcome to Gamification, the podcast where we talk about the deeper, often overlooked social issues in the gaming world. Today, we're tackling one of the most pressing issues facing the gaming industry, the wave of massive layoffs that has been sweeping through since 2022. We're going to dive into why these layoffs are happening, how they're affecting both current and ex-employees, and what it all means for the future of the industry. Let's get into it. So, what exactly is going on in the gaming industry? Well, the numbers are pretty grim. In 2022, we saw over 8,500 job losses. 2023 took that number up to over 10,000. And for 2024, in just 9 months of 2024, an additional 12,700 jobs have been lost. Big names like Microsoft, Sony, Riot Games, and Epic Games are all on the list. Even companies like Unity Technologies and Electronic Arts, which have been pillars of the industry for years, aren't immune. So, why is this happening? Let's break it down. First, there's the issue of pandemic-era hiring. Companies ramped up production during the COVID-19 pandemic as gaming demand skyrocketed. But when things started normalizing, they found themselves overstaffed. Second, rising production and marketing costs due to advanced technology and competition are hitting hard. The development cycles for AAA games have become expensive, and companies are struggling to keep up. Then there's industry consolidation. We've seen a wave of mergers and acquisitions, which often leads to redundancies, meaning fewer employees are needed. And lastly, there's the rise of AI automation. As automation improves, companies are using AI to replace roles traditionally held by humans. So, are these layoffs just a temporary hiccup, or are they here to stay? Unfortunately, it looks like this trend might not be slowing down anytime soon. Industry insiders are predicting that more layoffs could be on the horizon as companies continue to trim down to stay competitive. The pace of tech advancements, particularly in AI, and the growing need for companies to cut costs are two major factors fueling this fire. The human toll of these layoffs has been devastating. Many developers and designers, some of whom have spent decades working on the games we love, have suddenly found themselves unemployed. Not only do they lose their income, but also their institutional knowledge and skills may end up leaving the industry altogether. For those who are still employed, morale is at an all-time low. Many fear that their job could be next on the chopping block, which creates a stressful and unhealthy work environment. The uncertainty is pushing some developers to reconsider their careers in games altogether. Even more concerning, these layoffs can have a cascading effect on smaller studios. When a big player like Microsoft shuts down a studio like Arcane Austin or Epic Games slashes jobs, the entire local ecosystem feels the impact. So, what can be done to address this issue? Unfortunately, there's no silver bullet. But there are a few steps the industry can take. More sustainable business models. Game companies might need to rethink the way they manage their finances. Over-reliance on blockbuster hits isn't sustainable, and diversifying revenue streams through smaller games could help. Investing in people, not just tech. As AI automation becomes more integrated, companies should invest in reskilling their employees rather than laying them off. Employees can transition into roles where human creativity and decision-making are still critical. Unionization. Another potential solution lies in unionization, which could give game developers more power to negotiate fairer working conditions and severance packages during times of restructuring. Government support and oversight. Some experts have suggested that government intervention could help stabilize the industry. This might include financial support for laid-off workers or tax incentives for companies that prioritize human labor over automation. The big question is, how will these layoffs affect the future of the gaming industry? We're already seeing some ripple effects. With so much talent leaving the field, the loss of institutional knowledge could slow down innovation. Games may take longer to develop, and we could see fewer ambitious projects as companies play it safe to cut costs. There's also the question of who will be making games in the future. As automation increases, the human element that makes games unique and exciting could be diminished. But it's not all doom and gloom. As the industry recalibrates, we might see the rise of smaller indie studios that focus on more creative, passion-driven projects. These studios could become the new incubators for innovation. As we've discussed today, the layoffs in the gaming industry are a complex issue with no easy solutions. But one thing is clear: this is a pivotal moment for the industry. How companies handle these challenges will shape the future of gaming as we know it. What do you think? Will the industry learn to balance business demands with the needs of its workforce? Or will we continue to see more layoffs in the years to come? Let us know your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe to Gamification Podcast and GGTV for more in-depth looks at the social side of gaming. Until next time, keep gaming.